Six-man title game will be first up on Saturday here in Laramie as we talk about Little Snake River taking on the Burlington Huskies and joined by the head coach of the defending state champion, Little Snake River Rattlers, Jack Cobb. Jack, always a pleasure to talk with you. I think a lot of people kind of had you pegged in this game, and I will say I'm guilty to be one of those that I had you kind of slotted in here. But you know, as well as any coach does, you got to work and earn it. And so tell me, how do you feel about your boys, and what they've done in the playoffs and kind of taking care of business?
Just proud of them. Starts with my seniors. They're still hungry. People wonder about kind of what happens after a state championship game. These boys never missed a beat, and they worked even harder this year. We've had some injuries, and which I've talked about that before, which for me, it's an opportunity. And like last week, we had three kids didn't play. And I challenged a senior to be my center last week that hasn't been a center for me at all. And go back and watch film, and he just shined. He had a heck of a game. Couple other kids came in, and I just love to watch kids succeed when you give them that opportunity. And so I can't say anything bad about where our team is. We played hard. We've earned this spot to be in the championship, and I'm just excited to get to Laramie and see what we can get done on Saturday.
You talk constantly about your team's focus. Where does that stem from? Is that from you? Is that from other members of your staff? Or is that just the kids themselves kind of focusing on the task at hand?
I think it's a combination of all of us. It's my focus because growing up here and we always were competitive in basketball as a community. We were a basketball town, and we was in a lot of state championships and won a lot of state championships. And then when we got the opportunity to go into football, we didn't know what we was doing, and we quickly found out we could be good at that game too. And so we've always been a competitive, very focused community. It's like that in every fraction of this community. Everything that we do, we do it as a unit, and we have a very strong, supportive community that, that's just what they expect out of everything from this community. And so, I think that's the foundation of it, and I grew up here, so I carried that into this team. Coach Sam Wildryer, he's from Craig, but he's fit right into it. He's married to, a family cousin's kid. So he's just done a hell of a job for us, on the defensive side of the ball, and fortunate to have him, and he loves to be a part of it. And then we have another assistant, Kyle Jeffries, that came out of Pine Bluffs that has that winning attitude from Pine Bluffs, so we all are competitive and want that winning attitude. So, and then when it goes back to the kids, these kids just want to win and compete as hard as they can, and they just buy into the Rattler football philosophy. And fortunate over the years, we've been able to be competitive.
So does that make you not worry about the focus this week, given what's at stake, trying to defend, trying to stay undefeated? The kids are able to handle that very well.
Yeah, they're focused, and we haven't had a real bad slip up. Honestly, against Hewlett, the first drive that they was on offense, they scored on us.
Yeah.
And we were down 6-0 in that game. First time all year we've been behind, and we wasn't as focused because, we played them early in the season and handled them. And so it was just that perfect moment, a coaching moment, to tell them, hey, you don't have time to relax just one play. And we did. And, but I always say, you're going to give up things, and it's how you respond. And, we responded in 2 plays right after that and then finished the game like we should have started. But, it was just it was a great coaching moment to say that anybody can score on you in 6-man at any time if you don't stay focused. And so I think, going into encampment, much more focus, and plus it was an encampment, and it's just a county rival, and just a lot of history there and stuff. So, going into Burlington, the focus is there. We had a good practice last night, short practice, because this time change don't give you much time to practice.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
But, they're focused. So
talk about Trent's ball club. You haven't seen them this year. They used to be in your conference until the switch this year. So I'm sure you're probably familiar with, but what are you looking at when you see Trent Aagard's ball club this year?
We played them last year, and they came out and played us hard in the first quarter, and they was young, and I knew that last year. And last year was tough for them in our conference because everybody was loaded up with seniors, and they went up. They didn't win a game in conference last year, but it wasn't because they lacked talent. Everybody else was just loaded. And so I knew they was going to be back this year and be stronger because he has 6 seniors on the staff. And I've always respected Trent and his coaching, and we've had great games in the past, and, we're good friends and respect each other in the programs, but, they're tough. And I've said that all along. People kind of thought, but Du Bois was right there. And after they lost to us, everybody thought, heck, they'll walk through the other side and get to the championship. And I've been saying all along, you better not overlook Burlington because, with them 6 seniors, and now they know what the program is and what what the job is. And Trent has them rolling. I mean, I kind of thought the first game with Du Bois was, kind of just kind of a good physical game for both teams. I was surprised how hard they played. I didn't know which one would come back. I kind of thought it might be a 20-point game either way instead of one score. And I mean, Burlington, they showed what they're made of, and they rolled them. And yes. So, anybody that wants to overlook Burlington, you're making a mistake, and that's on us now.
So as you look at them, what are some of the key matchups you think in this game? Is it kind of trying to contain the Wardell kid, or
it is? I mean, it starts with Wardell. I mean, last year when we played him, I mean, he was accurate. He was, he can move. He's quick. He's agile. I think his completion rate is probably up over 70% this year. Wow. And, so he's very accurate. And then he has good athletes. I mean, 6-man, but when you play Burlington, they just always have good athletes. And when you can get them into space like Trent does, and he has a heck of a game plan every week when he plays, and you can get them into space, and they can be very dynamic. And it starts with Wardell. I mean, he just kind of runs the show, but they have, strong running backs in the backfield coming out, and they can go in power, and then they can run spread. So they're kind of that tricky combination that you got to be ready for everything when you go against them.
So I'm not asking for any tricks up the sleeve or your game plan, but yeah. What's got to happen for you guys, you think, Saturday morning to tip the scales in your favor, Jack?
I think we're going to have to open field tackle very well, and because they're going to get you in space with that spread offense. And if we don't tackle one-on-one well, they're going to hurt us. And so I think, we're going to have to really key on that on the defensive side, really try to get after, but do our jobs, stay in our lanes. And Coach Sam will have them prepared. I mean, he does a great job for us. And he, we've already went through scenarios and different things, but he'll have them prepared. But it still comes down to the boys on the field. And if we start missing tackles and not doing our assignments, Burlington's, more than capable of scoring 70 points against you in a hurry. Then on the offensive side, pretty much everybody knows what we do, and we just got to do what we do better. And, you just got to get blocks. You got to hang on to the ball. You got to do everything that we do as a Rattler football team that we've done, for 14 years. And if we can do that, I think we'll at least have an opportunity to win a close game, but you can't overlook them. And I don't think, I'm not saying Du Bois did, but man, was Burlington ready for Du Bois last week? So if people wasn't opened up to what Burlington can do, they found out. So, absolutely. But I've talked about them for most of the season. So like I said, Trent and I go back enough that I always respect him and enjoy coaching against him, and truthfully miss him being in our West Conference. So.
Well, Jack, that's all I got for you. I wish you best of luck, and we'll see you on Saturday morning.
Well, it's always good, so appreciate it. And, we'll see you on Saturday.
We continue to look at the first game on Saturday this weekend, the 6-man state championship. Little Snake River going up against the Burlington Huskies, joined by Burlington head coach Trent Aagard. And, well, Trent, great season that you guys have had so far. Obviously, what you did in the regular season didn't mean anything once you got in the postseason. But how are you feeling about your team coming off of the two playoff game victories?
I feel good about them. They're a good group of kids, lots of fun, and they like to work together. And yeah, I feel good about them. Really good group of boys.
It's, everybody I've talked to says you got these six seniors that just have kind of come along in the program together. What do they mean to this team, and what have you seen from their development over the last couple of years that maybe have gotten you to this point?
When they came in as freshmen, I knew that there's talent there, but they were pretty young and pretty small. And, it's been fun to watch them grow and get better and get more confident. And just, they've been part of some rough teams that didn't get a lot done, but, they just kind of stuck with it and kept learning and kept trusting. And it's been really fun to watch them.
You guys, I don't want to say have kind of flown under the radar because I think everybody thought you might be pretty good this year, but because you didn't quite play in that rugged South in six man, do you think you kind of flew under some people's radar a little bit?
Um, yeah, I think we did. We were a part of that. It used to be the Rugged West that we were part of for a lot of years. So we kind of really knew we know a lot about those teams and those guys and stuff. And they're great teams down there. But we just knew we had to take care of business where we were, and what happens happens.
What changed from week 8 against DuBois to last week? I mean, you guys came out like gangbusters and kind of got on top of them and never let them back in it, I thought.
Yeah, I think the first time we played DuBois, we were a little bit shocked by him a little bit. In the second quarter, they kind of stunned us for a little bit there, but I thought we actually finished that game pretty well. But nothing like having 2 weeks to think about all the stuff you should have did better and should have did different to make you be ready for it next time.
All right, let talk about how are you keeping your guys focused? This is a big stage, a big game, obviously, for a state championship. I think the last time you guys were down here in Laramie happened to be when none of these guys were around. They hadn't even gotten into high school yet. So how are you keeping your team kind of focused on it's just another game this week?
Yeah, these guys, I think the seniors were in eighth grade last time we were down there, so it's been a little while. But you know, I I think just them realizing, that what they've gone through and they got a chance to do something special, makes them feel a little, kind of dials them in throughout the week. And they've had great focus the last 2 weeks. So it's been good.
What do you look at when you see Coach Cobb's bunch at Little Snake River?
Oh man, they are a well-coached group down there, and us and Snake River have had some real battles and over the years, and there's been a few times they've blown us out of the water, but usually it's been pretty close and pretty competitive. And man, they got a lot of athletes that it's just all around good team, and they do a lot of good things, and they don't make mistakes, they don't hurt themselves. So yeah, they're a great team, well coached.
What do you think might be kind of a key matchup in this game from your perspective this weekend?
Um, I think our defense against their offense, I think, has got to probably be a very key match. If we got to at least attempt to slow them down and make them work and stuff like that, because seems to have been pretty easy for them so far.
It's kind of a contrast. I know you guys can run the ball very effectively, and you've proven that throughout the year. But you guys can spread it out a little bit more. They kind of are that power run game. It's a little opposite, a little polar opposites, I think, for each other.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, they've been running that tight offense for years, and they've been very successful at it. They really have it down well. Their blocking's great. They got good running backs, and yeah, we're a little different. We kind of spread it out, and yeah.
Seth Wardell, how much does he mean to this team? I know he's not your only guy, but he kind of is the trigger guy. What does he mean to you and this class and this team?
Um, he's been a good leader. He's very accurate throwing the ball. Makes really smart decisions, and
Mhm.
you know a lot of things operate through him. He got a good head on his shoulders, and sometimes he can he can make decisions out there without me having to get after him or whatever. So he's been a great leader. Boys kind of rally around him. We got like that whole senior class is full of kids like that, though. They're really smart and good leaders and really pick people up around them.
All right. I don't want you to give away your game plan or any tricks up the sleeve here, but what are some keys for you to be successful Saturday and try and come away with the title?
Like I talked a little bit about defense earlier. We got to play good defense, and I know we're not going to stop them, but all the time, but we got to make them earn every point they get, I think. And then on offense, we just got to keep clicking, and 6-man is such a weird game that you feel like if you can stop them once and score that it's, it's a big change in the game. So, yeah, I think if we can just keep the ball moving on offense and try to slow them down a little on defense, I think is what we need to do.
Trent, thank you so much for your time. Safe travels down here to Laramie. We'll see you on Saturday morning.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.